Hey guys, this is Johnny and welcome to episode 66 of the Travel Like a Boss podcast. I'm here today with my mentor, Anton Kraly, and he is just launching a new course, his second course. It's called Membership Site Master, and you can check that out at membershipsitemaster.com or in the show notes. Anton, welcome to the call.
Yeah, thanks for having me back on. I was just on your website and travellikeabosspodcast.com, and I saw it's been 4 months, so it's cool to be back on, keep everyone updated, and yeah. Talk to the audience.
So it's been exactly 2 years since I started your first course, and it's really changed my life. And now it's also changed my girlfriend's life, Larissa, where, you know, I think just starting this month, it's replaced her entire salary as not only as a teacher in Chiang Mai, but also her salary that she would have earned back home in South Africa in the HR department of a big fashion company. So I really appreciate, you know, your course for that and everything that you put out there.
Yeah, it's awesome seeing those results happen too. I saw her Facebook post this morning, waking up to 5 new sales when you're selling very expensive items. That's a great feeling. So yeah, congratulations to both of you for, you know, putting in the time and the work and the energy to build a second very successful store.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And, you know, honestly, if it wasn't for her, I would have been pretty satisfied, honestly, with just my first store. I've tried doing like some partnership sites with other people, and I was like, I'm making enough money on my first store where I don't have to stress out about it anymore. So I didn't have that drive, but I knew how important it was to her. So when she wanted to do a second store together, I'm like, well, you know what? You know, here's access to, basically here's Anton's course, you know, just go through it and then we'll just do it together. And it worked for her literally a year and a half later than it worked for me. It's same course, you know, same methods. So I know for a fact that your new course is going to make me another $100,000. So there's, you know, that's why I'm more excited about this than probably anybody.
Yeah, I definitely believe it will. And one thing, just going back to that whole dropship and partner thing, you know, when you're partnering with an e-commerce store or any business, I think you made a really good point that you had tried it in the past with, you know, friends or maybe people that just wanted to partner with you and the results weren't the same. And I think having that definitely more personal and accountable relationship with someone like your girlfriend made a huge difference there and the reason why it was successful. And I also thought it was really cool how you documented for 30 days exactly what you guys were going through. Mm-hmm. So if anyone is listening to this and hasn't been on Johnny's blog recently at johnnyfd.com, go check it out because he literally outlines what they did for 30 days and went from, you know, Larissa starting the course to having their store up and running and profitable. So really cool to see that process. And I think the reason that partnership works is because you are partners, you're a couple. So yeah, I think that's the reason that all worked out. And yeah,
I would say the number one thing is we knew exactly what we were accountable for. I think, you know, when someone starts a store, like even when I started a store with my friends back in LA and and then I left, I went to Chiang Mai, I was expecting them to do all the work and they were expecting me to do all the work. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, no one did anything.
Yep.
But with Larissa, it was different because first we clearly said what she's responsible for. We clearly said what I'm responsible for. And then also because I saw her every day, you know, literally we lived together. I think that's what made it work. So 100% the course works. And what's nice is going in your private member forums, a lot of people are doing well with the course now. I mean, like I think somebody posted up, basically just asking, you know, who's been successful, and a bunch of people responded with screenshots of what they've been doing, you know, since they signed up. And I mean, people are crushing it.
Yeah, one thing that's really cool, after the retreat that we did in October, I put out a new bunch of videos in the members area, and I called it Dropship Lifestyle version 2. So it was the original core videos plus a bunch of bonus content. And what I'm doing now is doing the version 3, which is all updated videos, all new core modules. But before I actually recorded all of these, I wanted to reach out to everyone from the course and ask them what they want more of, what they want less of, where they get the most benefit. So I sent out a survey to all of the members, and I thought it was really cool because I wasn't surveying people to ask if they're making money. I was just asking where they want extra content, and I got a bunch of success stories like that. And it's really cool to see that because, you know, it's like, you know, I never reach out to you like, hey Johnny, did you make a bunch of money this month? It's just not a question I ask. It's really cool to see that and get that kind of feedback from people, and also just to know what people want more of. So what's coming out in the next few weeks in Dropship Lifestyle lifestyle, and everyone that has a membership has access to this because, like I say, when I sell the course, you really do get lifetime updates. There's going to be a lot of new content regarding niche selection and a lot of new content regarding traffic. So instead of just one traffic module with one video, there's going to be lots of sub videos in there that show exactly how to do lots of different things. So for everyone that's a member, that's something to look forward to. And if you're not a member yet, it'll be there anyway. So yeah, that's what I've been working on with as far as dropship lifestyle goes.
So, I mean, I would say one of my favorite things about your course is that it's been 2 years since I signed up for it. I watched those videos, and when I signed up, it was 7 core videos, and honestly, it was enough because when I went through just that, and I was able to be successful not only with my first store, but now with the second store with Larissa as well. But this extra, content, it just kind of shows how much you care about your course members. That you're not just like, well, they've already paid for it. It's not like a monthly thing. They pay for it once, or they can split that up between a couple of payments. But either way, they've already paid for it. There's not really a big incentive for you to make sure people are still doing well, to keep giving them, more value and basically, just give them more tools. But you do anyways, and that kind of just shows.
Yeah, it's kind of like a personal thing. Like when people sign up and they trust me with the course that I'm going to teach them something and they actually spend money with me, I don't want them to join and then 3 months later think, man, I wish I would have went with someone else, or, I just wish this was updated more, or I wish there was a video on this or that. If someone trusts me and actually makes the commitment to pay my company to train them, I want to make sure that they're trained, that it's up to date, and that I give them the best tools available to build a successful store. So that's kind of the whole mindset that I was going into Membership Site Master with, this new course that I'm putting out. The reason I haven't done it yet, even though I've been helping people to create membership sites for over a year now, it's because I wanted to make sure I personally knew enough not only to do it myself, but to help others. And that's why finally, after a year of talking about it, I finally created this, and starting next week, it will be available. So yeah, if you have any questions about that, or what it is or how it works, I'd love to talk about that too.
Yeah, definitely. So the only thing I actually know about it is, so someone sent me a link. It wasn't even you. Someone sent me a link to it and said, hey, check it out. Anton, I'm excited. This is launching. And for those listening, if you guys want to check out the site, you can go to the show notes, or you can just go to the membershipsitemaster.com. And right now, as we're recording, there's a countdown for it to go live. And there's basically, people can kind of see a free preview of what it is. And right away, I don't even think I got to pass the first video. I already knew. I'm like, okay, not only am I going to sign up for it, but this is how I'm going to make my next $100,000. And I 100%, because I know, because I'm very, very fortunate where I haven't overlearned. I've basically only taken one business course, or one online business course ever. And that's, your first course. So and because I've done so well with it, I know 100% that I'm doing well with this. But for those who haven't been through the first course yet, how did you even think of the second course, and why did you make it available for everyone?
Yeah, so as you know, we met out in Chiang Mai, and now I'm living in Ho Chi Minh City. So I'm always around communities of entrepreneurs. So a lot of my friends, when we hang out, we talk about business. So people know about my e-commerce success, and that I have a course and that I teach people. And I found that a lot of people that are interested in e-commerce ask me tons of questions about that. They want to know as much as they can and get all the information from me about traffic and how to find suppliers and how to even import and private label things, and of course how to drop ship. So that's kind of one conversation that I have with the circles of friends I hang out with. And then the other conversation, as Dropship Lifestyle grew, was how are you building such a successful membership site? So some people, maybe for one reason or another, they're not interested in e-commerce, and they are like information products, or they like teaching, or they like the idea of selling courses or membership sites. So I started to help people with it because, I like to help people, and I think I have a good amount of experience now. So basically, it was the same way that Dropship Lifestyle started, in the sense that I was helping people with e-commerce, and I thought, let me just turn this into a course. That's exactly what happened here. I've been helping people with membership sites, and I thought, let me just turn this into a course. I even gave a presentation at the DC event in Bangkok this past October, and there was a full room of people that wanted to know about membership sites. So I actually spoke for almost 2 hours about everything, everything that I do, how I built the course, how I get members, different courses that I'd recommend starting, and just all my techniques really for building a profitable membership site. And the response to that was amazing. I still get emails today from that talk I gave 4 months ago with follow-up questions, and I've helped all of these people. So again, I thought, let me take all this information and put it into a course. So that's how I came up with the idea, and that's why finally, after a year of thinking about it, it's actually happening.
My favorite thing about that is how, you know, just kind of the story and how it kind of came to be, because I think those are the things that, you know, people learn the most from is, you know, when you have a skill that your friends are already asking you advice on, and it doesn't even have to be business. It can be like literally about, you know, what to feed your cat, you know, or, you know, diet or fitness or yoga or like, you know, pretty much anything in the world. And if you have friends that want to learn from you, and you have something of value, instead of spending, you know, 10 hours with each friend, you can literally spend 10 hours to film the videos and then make it into a course. And I think, you know, that, you know, right there is kind of the basis of why membership courses work.
Yeah, and 2 points about what you just said. The first thing about this not just being about business, I mean, that couldn't be more than true. This isn't about, like, the one course I have that everyone knows is all about dropshipping and e-commerce. But in no way do I think that anyone that's listening to this that wants to build a membership site should limit themselves to teaching about business. This can literally be about anything. And in this course, I give thousands of examples of successful membership sites that are in niches from, you know, dog training to fitness to dating. There's just, it's infinite. So that's a very good point. And another thing, like you mentioned, if people are asking you and your friends, that means that out of your small group of friends, if you have interest, I don't even think about selling to my friends, and I don't think anyone should. I think about now times that by everyone in the world that's interested in this. So once you turn this into an online course or a membership site, your reach goes so far. So when people think sometimes like, well, who wants to listen to me? If you have 3 or 4 friends that want to listen to you, there's probably thousands of or tens of thousands of people in the world that would listen also. So once you make yourself kind of a known name and make yourself public, your reach just grows exponentially.
And the best thing about it is the next time one of your close friends or even a family member, you know, has questions about it, instead of you know, going back and forth in email or on the phone trying to help them, you can just give them access to your course and say, look, this is everything I know about it.
Right.
You know, and like even for me, like for a lot of things that, you know, I'm good with now, I don't really have the patience, or sometimes I forget, you know. I mean, if someone just asks me over the phone or in person how to start something, I'll skip a lot of steps. And that's why, even though I've been running my dropshipping store now for 2 years and I pretty much know everything about it, when Larissa wanted to start hers, instead of me trying to teach it to her step by step, I said, look, just go through Anton's course, because he's going to be able to teach it to you a lot better than I can. And I think, and I remember an example is when your sister wanted to learn to do her dropshipping store, you gave her access to your course as well.
Yeah, because like you said, I mean, there's only so many hours in the day, and the course, between all the videos and all of the content on the forum, I mean, like you said, it would take me probably 20 hours to sit down with her and go through it. So why would I do that one-on-one when I know the course can give the same value, if not better? And it's actually better because it's PowerPoint presentations, so it's actually like something you could follow along with and see visually, plus the screen shares, the screen recordings. So instead of me just trying to explain over the phone or something, you could actually watch me doing things. There's really no better way to teach someone a new skill, I think, than putting it in video format and putting it up in a membership site. So yeah, I'm totally with you on that.
And so 100%, I know for a fact that membership sites, you know, on a topic that you're interested in learning, as well as, you know, from a credible instructor that you trust and has been through it themselves and has had success, they are so worth the money. I think that's why they do so well. I mean, people make not just thousands of dollars, but literally hundreds of thousands of dollars by having these membership sites. And
yeah. And that's what amazes me with it. There's people that are making so much money. And I mean, everyone that knows about Dropship Lifestyle, there's a lot of members. I charge a lot of money for it. So yes, it's very successful. But even my success compared to where it could be and to where some other membership sites are, it's minuscule, and it's still huge. So yeah, there's so much opportunity here, and there's a lot of money to be made.
Yeah, and there's so many different niches out there. And so I watched your first video that was on your site, and it just talks about turning your passions into profits. And you know, it's basically a niche selection video for you know, for how to build your membership site.
Right.
And So I've looked at a lot of different membership sites out there because I'm always curious what does well. And there's some very obscure things like yoga online. And you wouldn't think yoga would do well online because it's one of those things where you'd want to, you think you want to do it in person. But there's a woman out there basically teaching. She has a membership site on yoga, and she's making millions.
Yeah. And that one actually makes somewhat of sense to me. Something similar that makes no sense to me is a tennis instructional course. So it's a membership site where they teach you how to play tennis. Like, I don't know why people would want to learn via videos instead of hiring a trainer, but this guy's making millions also. So yeah, there's lots of opportunity out there and very random things that you might not think work yet. But once you get into the phase of kind of like, just like with Dropship Lifestyle, doing the market research, when you're doing the market research here with membership sites, you might find that some of your hobbies that you think have no chance of being turned into a membership site, there's actually people out there making millions off it. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunity.
And what I like is, just like in your first course, you have criteria on what you want to choose when you're going through the niche selection, how to choose a good niche. And it's so important to choose a good niche. If it wasn't for your first course, I probably would have ended up, if I was just going to sell, if I was just going to dropship products, I would have just thought of either the first thing, I could think of, or something that, a friend was like, yeah, you should definitely sell water bottles online. So many people buy water bottles. There's this huge, craze about BPA and chemicals. And I would have been like, yeah, that's a great idea. Let me sell that. And if I didn't go through the course and didn't, watch your videos and go through the criteria, I would have wasted so much time trying to sell a $10 product and just wasting my life instead of, selling what I sell now, which is between $300 to $1,500. And as you said in the first course, it's like, well, why waste your time in the wrong niche? It's the same amount of effort and work.
Right.
So might as well pick a good niche. And because you have so much experience and you have these criteria, it makes it so easy to think of a list of 50 possible potential niches and then be able to basically streamline down from there.
Right. We only have so many hours in the day, every one of us. So you might as well use those hours on something that has that biggest upside, the biggest upside potential and the biggest opportunity for return of money on your time. So yeah, that's exactly what I do in this course as well. And one thing that we should talk about, it's in that first video that you watched, but for people that haven't been to my new website and watched the video yet, I think it's important when we're talking about these passions, that's what I call them, turning your passions into profits. Like you mentioned a little bit earlier, this could be something that you're already an expert on. For example, when I launched Dropship Lifestyle, I had, I think at that point, 7 years experience doing it. I felt very confident that I could teach people how to replicate my results. But let's say there's something else that I wanted to teach about that I'm not an expert in yet. Maybe I'm passionate about it, but I'm not good enough to actually put up a course, charge people money, and teach them myself. So what do you do in that situation? What I've learned from a lot of friends of mine, and what's very, very easy to do, is to actually partner with an expert on something you're passionate about. So what this looks like is you actually run the membership site. You're responsible for building the whole thing. You're responsible for making it look great. You're responsible for getting traffic. You're responsible for keeping members happy. You're responsible for making as much money as you can off everyone that joins. But your face is nowhere on the website. Your name is nowhere to be seen. You're totally the behind the scenes guy. Well, and what you do in this situation is you partner with someone in a topic you're passionate about that has that level of expertise. Now, you might think like, well, why wouldn't that person just go and do it themselves? Well, same thing like I mentioned earlier, we all only have so many hours in the day. So if you approach someone who is an expert in their respective field and you present yourself right, they should be very happy to make a deal with you where their work is to record maybe 10 to 20 hours of video and collect paychecks for the rest of their lives as you sell this course. So I just wanted to make that clear. This isn't only about building a site yourself where you're the face of it. It could also be you as the guy behind the scenes that's working with an expert in their field.
I actually honestly never even thought of that. And so that's why I'm so excited to join this course, is because I know for a fact there's going to be all these hidden nuggets that I never would have thought of in a million years. I could have, Googled the crap out of that, or I could have, tried to brainstorm myself. But because I don't really have the experience of making a membership site, even though I would think, I'm like, oh, maybe I already know, this stuff. Maybe I could just, turn on my webcam and just make my own course. At the end of the day, so if I did make my own course without taking yours, I know for a fact I'll probably do okay. I'll probably make a couple $100, but I'll end up spending the same amount of time versus if I go through your course, I know I'm going to make a lot of money, and time really is the most valuable thing in the world. So instead of someone spinning the wheels and, and maybe they'll never even get it launched because there's gonna be so many little questions about, where to host the video so people can't just pirate it, how to get traffic for signups, what should you do for members area, what should you do for this and that. Right. Now I know that, you've already been through all that, so you can just say, hey, use this. And I'm like, okay, I'll use that.
Yeah, and I was curious too as to what people want to know most about. So obviously, just like with my e-commerce course, I teach everything I can, everything I know. But I was curious where I should spend the most time, what people have the most questions about. So I surveyed everyone that had shown interest in this, which was hundreds of people, and the feedback I got was amazing. A lot of things, like people are very curious about pricing. How should they charge for it? Should it be one time? Should it be recurring? Should it be expensive? Should it be cheap? Other things like, what was a big one? Traffic was huge because a lot of people think, like you said, they think they know everything about recording videos and putting it up there. But then they think, well, then how do I get traffic to it? They think that's all they need to know about. But no, everything has to be done correctly before that. So a lot of these questions I'm starting to answer now in those free videos. So if you put the link below the show, people can go and watch these free videos now. And then obviously once the course is actually open and running and I'm training people, I'm going to get into a lot more detail about all of these topics that people obviously have questions on.
And I'm assuming, are you going to have a members area, or how are you going to handle questions afterwards?
Right. So this one is different than with Dropship Lifestyle, whereas people have access to the forum and all of the content from day one. What's going to happen with membership site Master is that once people join, the first thing that they're going to get directed to is a survey. And I've put together this survey based on, brainstorming for a while of things that I need to know from them. So basically it's going to ask about their previous experience with things like WordPress and different affiliate platforms. And it's going to, for the purpose of this, is to help me gauge where they're at as far as on the technical side. And after that, people get broken down into different groups. So everyone that joins this course is going to be in a mastermind. These masterminds are going to have 5 people or less each, and I'm going to be leading all of them. So yes, there's a members area. Yes, there's going to be the training videos. But what's different about this than any other course I've done is that for 8 weeks, we're doing weekly mastermind calls. Again, 5 people or less that are around a similar skill level as you, where I lead these discussions and we make sure that people aren't just following along with the videos, but we make sure that they're making progress in the right direction. Because I really think with this, every single person that goes through it and takes action should be making money by the time, week 8 rolls around. So again, masterminds for everyone that joins, small groups. I'm leading every call in addition to the training videos. And that's going to happen for the 8 weeks that the course is in session.
So I really like the idea of the masterminds, especially the way that you're going to break it down into groups, because I know, when I sign up for it, I'm probably going to be a little bit more ahead in certain fields. I might already know what my niche I want to is. I might know a little bit more about certain aspects of the technical side of it, just because I've been doing it. And it's going to be nice to be kind of in a separate group than someone who maybe is even more ahead of me, and that way I don't have to try to play catch up. And I'm also on the flip side, I'm not in a group where someone's like, can you show me how to, start from square one on how to upload an image or something like that.
Exactly. And it doesn't mean those people won't be successful. It just means that they're at a different stage. And I've been in the situation, like you just mentioned, where you're on a group call, and if you're the top guy, one of the top guys as far as previous knowledge goes, then you're not really getting the benefit from it. So I want this to be something for everyone, but in order to do that efficiently, that's why this whole mastermind thing came up, and that's why we're doing weekly calls with small groups.
And what's also cool about that is, because it's going to be these small groups of 5 people, and everyone's going to be building at the same time, and everyone's going to be in different niches because everyone has different skills and different expertise. People are going to be able to openly share and talk about their sites and what they're going through.
Right. And that's one thing, too, that's really important. As you know, with e-commerce and dropshipping, I recommend that people don't share what they're doing because it's much easier to copy what someone's doing. If you see their e-commerce store, you can copy it. I mean, that's what I teach in the course, basically, is how to find successful companies and do what they do. With this, it's a very personalized thing. So for example, with my dropshipping course, I'm the face of it. I'm everywhere. I've built up the reputation for myself more so than the course name. So same thing with membership sites. Let's say I gave that example earlier of the guy doing the tennis course that's making millions off it. If you put up a tennis course, it's not, yes, it's competing with him, but not directly, because it's more about the person behind it than the actual product. So two people could be selling a tennis course. You could watch one guy's sales video or read one guy's free content. Then you could see the others. And it really comes down to who you like better. So there's a lot more room for capturing sales, I would say, and for taking over different markets and definitely having your role in them. And the same thing goes when you're partnering with experts. If you go that route, if you have a deal with a name that's known in the niche you get into, then that's your site. You have that credibility, and it's not as easy for someone else to just rip that off. So I think with this project and on these calls, everyone's going to be much more open with what they're doing, because it's much more defensible than a dropship store, as far as sharing what you're doing goes.
And I think that's why one of the reasons why I'm so excited about this is because not only am I going to be able to openly talk about my niche with the other 5 people, but as soon as those 8 weeks are up and it's live, we launch, I can talk about what my niche is going to be basically with everyone, because it's one of those things where I'm going to have built up, my brand through my own name, or through the expert that I partner with. And right. I know other people aren't going to be able to just, copy and paste and say, well, I'm going to sell that too, because they're not going to have the same credibility. They're going to have a different, program, and I think it's going to be fun. I mean, honestly, I'm more excited about this because I honestly think it's going to be fun than just knowing that I'm going to make a lot of money.
Yeah. And that's the thing too. Like one of the first things I say in the dropshipping course is forget about what you're passionate about when you're building these stores. You build these to make money. And this is the opposite. These, I say, turn your passion into profit, because it's about what you actually enjoy. So totally different business model. Obviously, I'm doing both. They both work. But yeah, it's something that you could have more fun with, because it should be about a topic that you actually love.
And what's cool about having my dropshipping store and going through that first course already is not only do I know 100% that this is going to work, so I don't even have to ever have a self-doubt. I can be like, what, I know it's going to work because I've made so much money from your first course, and this even honestly has more potential to make even more money. I mean, I don't think I'm going to make $1 million off of my dropshipping store. It's one of those things where I'm very happy making $100,000 from. Yep. But this new course and having a membership site, there's unlimited potential, unlimited upside.
Yeah. And it's funny, as far as like numbers go, with e-commerce, and I'm not talking bad about e-commerce at all, but if I say last month my e-commerce stores did 200,000 in sales and my membership sites did 50,000 in sales, people would be like, oh man, tell me more about e-commerce. What's going on? Mm-hmm. But then if my profit margin, on my e-commerce stores is about 20%, then and my profit margin on my membership sites is about 90%. I'm making about the same amount of money. So one thing about these membership sites is, the actual cash flow is very, very high if you do it right. So that's a big plus about doing this. The overall numbers look smaller, but the cash flow is great.
And that's why I'm so excited for it. So with my dropshipping store, we had overnight basically the best sales day we've had. I think maybe ever. All right. So when we woke up, Larissa, so I looked at my phone first and I had no sales, and I was honestly kind of not upset, but I was kind of like, this kind of sucks. I was kind of hoping to have, wake up with a sale. Larissa checked her phone and she's like, we got 3. And with her products are a lot more expensive. So with hers, I think the cheapest item was $1,300.
Nice.
And the most expensive product was $2,500.
Nice.
So with just her store, we had over $5,000 in revenue.
Yeah.
And then I got to Pun Space, the co-working space, and I checked my email. And so I have a third store that I never really talk about because it's honestly, I don't even pay attention to it. It's just kind of there. And then if it makes a sale once in a while, I'm happy. If it doesn't, I don't really care. And that one got a sale for $550. I'm like, oh, no, that's cool. I got a sale.
Yeah.
I went to make my bulletproof coffee, and I came back. I left my phone on the table. And I came back, and not only did I have one sale, I had 2 sales.
Wow.
Both for over $2,000.
Wow. That's a great morning. Yeah.
So in total, like basically overnight, we made over $10,000 in sales and revenue.
Yep.
And I would love for all that to be profit, but unfortunately, because I still have to buy the products, I still have to tell my suppliers like, hey, we got these orders, what's our wholesale pricing minus shipping. And even though we made over $1,000 in profit, I'm very, very happy with that. Because if you do the math, if you can make that every day, that's $30K a month in profit.
Plus the credit card miles, you're flying for free a lot. But yeah.
And so I'm still very, very happy with that, But if this was $10,000 in sales from a membership site, and which has almost no expenses, and everything's digital delivery, so I'm not paying shipping, I'm not paying $200 shipping to send something, that would be $9,000 in profit.
Right.
And that's why I'm so excited about this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, I mean, but it's awesome that I have both, because I have my dropshipping stores that are pretty much passive. I wouldn't say they're 100% passive, but they are definitely location dependent because I built it in Thailand and I run it, wherever we travel to. But it's, it still requires, let's say, a few hours of work a day, or maybe like an hour to maintain it. Mm-hmm. So I can have the income from that's consistent. And then I have time to go through this new course, build up that membership site, have a whole new source of income. And this will basically be passive as well.
Yeah. And then here's the thing with like the pros and cons. If you wanted to do like a quick, drop shipping versus membership site. Obviously, I do both like you're going to be doing, and I think that's ideal. And the reason why is because something like Dropship Lifestyle, which I'll keep using as an example because it's my course that everyone knows, I can't, it's an asset because it makes me money, but I can't sell that. Every video is me. All the marketing efforts, every podcast I've done, all of the free content, it's all about me. My face is everywhere. My name's everywhere. My voice is everywhere. It's not something that someone's going to come along and say, oh, you made X amount of dollars last year. I want to give you this, because they can't just take it over and expect the same results. It's driven by, me as a person that markets it and that teaches. So with something like that, it's great for cash flow. And obviously I recommend doing it. That's why I'm doing it. That's why I'm sharing how to do it. But with something like an e-commerce store, there's no face behind it. So that's why they're worth so much money. And that's why you could sell them. And that's why you could turn them into huge assets. So like your store right now, your first one, it's very valuable. Mm. And if that was a course with your face everywhere, it wouldn't be worth the same amount to someone else. So that's another reason that I recommend doing both.
So I just did the math. If I wanted to sell my first store and just say, you know what, I want to focus all my time building membership sites now, I can sell it tomorrow for $72,000.
Nice. Yeah.
And, basically, that's insane because not only have I made probably close to that just running it for the last 2 years, but, well, actually, I probably made more than that running it for the last 2 years. But now I get this extra money just to give it to someone else because it's a proven business model. Most of it's automated because I have a VA in the Philippines and I have a customer service guy in the US who takes care of most of it. And now I'm free to do something else. The only reason, honestly, why I'm not selling it is because it doesn't take that much time. Once it's kind of up and running, especially because I have this VA she does all the back end, she does all the accounting and the invoicing, all that, and then I have the customer service guy who takes care of all that. And then we have the supplier who ships it all. I'm not actually doing that much, so I figure, why not just let it run for another 18 months and then have $72,000?
Yeah.
Instead of selling it, because then if I wanted to, I can sell it 18 months from now for another 72,000 or more.
Exactly. Yeah. Keep it as an asset. Keep making money off it. Yeah.
So I'm curious, how much time do you actually spend on a given day or a week with your membership site for the dropshipping site?
Not much, but the thing is when you're first creating it, so just like with e-commerce, I put so much emphasis and stress really on doing the niche selection right, doing the market research right, and really knowing what you're getting into before you start doing the actual work. It works the same way here. You don't want to waste time just choosing some random topic and just going for it. So there's a lot of I guess you can call it like before you get started work. Mm-hmm. So in this course, once I walk people through the niche selection part and what I'm calling pick your passion, and we have these weekly calls, I think within the first week, people should have a good idea of what works well and what doesn't. Week 2 in this course is all about doing that actual, the market research and seeing if these passions that you kind of shortlisted can be profitable. And I show exactly how to do that, see who's doing it already. And what's better about this actually is you could see how much money people are actually making. Not everyone, but a lot of people. You could find out how much money they make. And that is of huge benefit, obviously, if you want to start competing. So I would say the first 2 weeks, I would recommend putting in a lot of time because, you really have to figure it out. You have to get that part right. And then this is going to be 8 weeks to launch. So from the time someone signs up and the time we start the first class to the end, the goal isn't really to be up and have a store that's making tons of sales and getting tons of new members. The goal is to launch, and from there we're going to have ongoing calls and a forum where everyone can communicate about it. But after that, I would say it's the same thing with dropshipping, about an hour a day per site. But before that, it's going to be 8 weeks of something you definitely have to stick with because we're going to be moving. I'm here to teach people on this, and the goal really is to have you launch a site that looks good, that sells well, and that provides a lot of value to your members within 8 weeks. So we have you need to put in some time for those first 2 months.
So I think that's a good window as well, because pretty much everybody can say, I'm going to spend the next 2 months working my butt off for the big reward. I think if it was something longer, like let's say someone had to work at it for 2 years,
right,
or even a year, people might kind of lose steam. Their savings aren't going to go long enough. They're going to be like, well, I don't want to work a 9-to-5 job and do this at night or on the weekends for a year. I just physically can't handle it.
Right.
But for 2 months, I think that's very doable, because that's basically the same amount of time it takes most people to start making profit from the dropshipping stores. And a lot of people are either doing it, as I said, on the spare time, while running, having a normal job, or they're bootstrapping like I did, and, just basically working on the store full time, going through my savings and just knowing I'm going to push through and I'm going to start making money.
Right. Yeah. If anyone could commit to this for, nights and weekends, if you're working full time and you want to do this for the 2 months that we're going to be actually teaching and doing the calls, then, that's enough. That's enough. And you're definitely going to be motivated because I'm going to be sharing a lot of great information. And I think these mastermind calls, in addition to add in great value, also really hold you accountable, because I'm going to ask you if you hit your goals that we talked about the week before by the next week. And, people are going to be joining this with the expectations of seeing great things happen in the future. And I'm going to really push people to make that happen. So, yeah, I hope everyone that's ready to sign on is ready for that, because it's going to be pretty intense. But I really think the success stories that come out of this are going to be amazing. So I'm really looking forward to it.
So, I think my favorite thing about it is knowing that 100% of the people, at least the intention is for 100% of the people who sign up for this to be successful, to actually make money from this, to launch their site. And I think that's very different from a lot of other trading courses out there, where almost like a gym membership, where they would like you to come and get in great shape and be able to tell all your friends, hey, I highly recommend this gym because it's worked for me. Look how much success I've had from it. But with a lot of other courses, it's kind of hard to keep people accountable, because you don't know if they're watching the videos or not. You're not talking to them every week. But with this, for 100%, you're going to be hounding them. It's almost like having a personal trainer.
Yeah. And it's funny you mentioned that, because I signed up with a personal trainer out here a month ago. And I realized my results from just eating better and from the workouts I'm getting in are so much better than anything I've done in the past year. And that's one of the reasons why I was thinking okay, small groups, accountability, because you have someone to answer to, really. And yes, people are paying for this. Yes, but I pay a lot of money for my personal trainer, and it's because he's getting me great results. And this is the same type of thing. It's accountability, and it's having a real reason besides self-motivation to get things done. It's because at a certain time every week we're going to get on a call, and everyone in the group is going to ask you if you reached your goals, just like we're going to ask everyone else if they've reached their goals. And of course, we're going to do everything we can to help you get there, but you're definitely going to be held accountable.
And that is kind of honestly the secret to success, is because most, no matter who you are, how superhuman you are, you have a limited amount of self-discipline. You have a limited amount of just even drive and saying, I'm going to do this in this amount of time. It's when you have, let's say in school, for example, if it wasn't for homework being due or having a test come up, would you really spend the time to put in the work, or study? Most people wouldn't, but, or at work, you have deadlines. People, they literally will use the amount of time you give them and is how much time they're gonna use for any task. And having been through it yourself, but also having the groups and the kind of the test subjects go through it, that, let's say, so for week 1, that's a good amount of time to do something, and you'll make it happen.
Exactly. And what else is great about this too, I think the way that it's being structured is it's going to be, I would call it responsive. This course and this coaching program, it's really a coaching program because it's going to be the masterminds with the actual calls with myself and everyone else. But it's very responsive. So if I realize from the feedback I'm getting in our masterminds that people are stuck at one certain point, I'm going to do everything I can to get you to the next point, whether that be new videos or having someone from my team going into your site and checking things out and helping push it along to getting finished. Everything I can do with my team, because I have built a team over the past year to do this for me, to build these membership sites, it's going to get done. So this course is very much based on all the results that we get together as we work through this. And again, myself and my team are going to do everything we can to make sure that when that 8-week deadline rolls around, that your site is ready to give people tons of value and that it's worth money and that it's ready to start actually bringing on new members. So yeah, that's what I love about this whole kind of live coaching thing.
And the good thing about having this kind of peer-reviewed system or coach-reviewed system is they're going to have to make a good course with good content. Like, because you're not going to let them, just have something that's crap. Because, you're going to be honest with them.
And that bothers me so much. Someone was in one of the, I don't know, either Nomad or entrepreneur groups on Facebook I'm on. Someone made a post about how easy it is to create courses for Udemy. And someone was asking, like, the person that made this post said you could make one new course every 5 days or something like that. And then someone commented and said, like, don't you think the quality would be, too low if I just rushed through it? And then the person responded, oh, quality doesn't matter with Udemy. There's so many courses, people just buy them, whatever, it doesn't matter. And that's the exact opposite of what I'm doing with this. Every course that comes out of it, I want to be very high quality and just so valuable to everyone that joins that not only are they happy they spent money with you, they should be so happy that they're telling all their friends and family and everyone they know about how happy they are that they trusted you and purchased your membership site or your course or whatever you're offering through your membership site.
So I think the reason why you can get away with that on Udemy and not your own platform is because Udemy regularly gives out 90% off coupons to all courses, and they have specials where they only charge $10 for the course. So you, as the instructor for it, you might only get $4.
It's a joke, yeah.
Or you might get, actually sometimes I actually have a couple courses in Udemy, and we make between $2 to $10 on average per membership we sign up for.
And what is your course priced at that you priced it at?
$249.
It's a joke. Yeah, it's a joke. And that people go on there and I made this mistake when you first go on there and you're looking at different sales stats. You see maybe a course like yours and it's priced at whatever $250 and you see thousands of downloads. You're like, oh man, this guy's killing it. No, not because people are getting it for $10.
Yeah, and we're less. I mean, because even then that would still be good. But so I'm gonna give you guys a kind of a secret insider on Udemy is out of, let's say, 1,000 students at $250, 900 of those students would have gotten it for free. Just because in the beginning you just give it away to make it look busy, and then the 100 people who bought it all bought it for between $2 and $10 for your profit. So they probably bought it for $10, maybe 15, maybe 20, maybe one person paid full price for it. But at the end of the day, the instructor has only made a couple $100 from it, which means they don't have that much incentive to put in the effort to make a great course.
Yeah.
And
totally true.
So, it's one of those things where, if people are pumping out courses in 5 days, they're not really putting that much effort in it. They're just kind of hoping for the $10. And the flip side, why would you put in that much effort to make a kick-ass course, a really, really good course, if you're only going to be making, $10 or less per sign-up? Versus with the membership site master, you can, you're going to be charging hundreds of dollars, if not thousands of dollars per sign up, and you're not going to be giving it away to anyone. You're not going to, there's going to be no 90% off coupons. Udemy is not going to be taking 90% of your profit. So then you actually do put in the effort to it.
Exactly. You know what I tell people when they ask me what I think of Udemy? I basically say it's like what Kindle did to ebooks, right? Because back, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago when ebooks first became a thing, people were selling them for $50, $100, $200, and they were putting tons of value in them. What they really were kind of courses within downloadable PDFs. And then Kindle came around, and now every book is $2.99, and people are writing these 30-page pieces of crap that, you know, don't give any value. But it's because they get $2 per sale, and they're just pumping these things out, you know. And it's for me, it's not good for courses in general, because if someone's only experience with online courses is what they bought on Udemy, like you just said, their experience probably isn't good, because the product creators, these course creators, know that they're going to get such little value for what they're doing. They're not going to put their full effort in front of them, and they're not going to do it right. So there's still plenty of room for courses and membership sites that aren't part of Udemy. And for anyone that's wondering, should they do that, or should they do it as their own project that, you know, they host themselves, that they sell themselves, of course, I would 100% recommend doing it yourself, because that's where you could charge more money. There are still people charging $50 and $100 for ebooks, and they're not selling them on Kindle. They're selling them through their own websites, and that's what you should do as well.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. So I'm actually a good example, because I have courses on Udemy. I have 2 courses that are both successful. I mean, they both make, you know, a couple $100 a month, not a ton of money, but, you know, they do well. So I know if I wanted to, I can make another course on the platform and make another couple $100. And maybe if I have 5 or 10 courses, maybe I can make a couple $1,000, which would be nice. But I know that the same amount of effort that I put in, if I actually just go through your course and put it on my own site and make it, you know, very valuable, and have the proper niche selection, have the proper, basically proper platform for it, I can charge $300 or even $1,000 or $2,000 per sign up, and be able to keep 90% of that myself, instead of giving Udemy 90% of it.
Exactly. And it's honestly, I think it's even better for that, because you can control the traffic when it's coming straight to you, and people aren't looking at you versus all the other alternatives that are very similar. So beyond even pricing and everything, you're just in complete control. For me, it's like the difference between, if you're going to compare it to e-commerce, it's basically, should you sell on eBay or should you build your own Shopify store? Yeah. You should build your own Shopify store all day compared to selling on eBay. Same thing with this. I mean, I would say always put it on your own store so you have complete control. And yeah, it's definitely the way to go. And that's what I'm going to teach within this new course.
Well, another big benefit of it is, so on Udemy, as a Udemy instructor, I don't have access to any of my students' contact info. I can't email them. Wow. I can send out a course announcement, but it goes through Udemy. They don't allow any links in there. They don't allow any, basically they don't allow anything in there. So right. You can say, it's almost like you writing a postcard from North Korean prison camp. Yeah. Where you say, okay, Udemy, I would like to say this to all the students. I don't have, I don't have their email addresses. I don't have anything, but can you forward this message to them? And it just gets lost. I mean, because it comes through, people's promotional folders. So most people don't even read it. Right. There's all these other instructors kind of do the same thing. Versus when you have your own site. So for example, if you want to message or email all of your members that are in your dropshipping course, you could basically just email them, right?
Yeah, and the biggest thing where that affects people, so one of the modules in this new course is all about optimizing really for revenue, making as much money as possible off your membership site, because of course we're in business, we want to make money. And one way to do that is via upsells. And before everyone gets on me about this, I don't do upsells the way most internet marketers do it, where you sell basically half a course and then say, if you want the rest of this information, pay me again. That's not the kind of way I do upsells. I like adding value added. That's what I call them, value added upsells. So an example I'll give with my dropshipping course, I have a whole 21 video series of Shopify videos in that course now. It's all been added in the past year. It'll show you exactly how to build your own really nice looking, highly converting dropshipping store if you follow along, right? I have that in the course. It's included. It's free. But some people don't want to do it themselves because they have other things going on. They just don't want to learn Shopify, or they want to have it done fast by a professional team. So I have the option of having my team build their website for them. All my team does is follow those videos and build the website. But if people want that, I can upsell them. I can offer them something else that's valuable. And that's one way to make a lot of extra money off of these membership sites, to be able to provide more value. And there's lots of different examples based on what niche you're in. But I think the most the easiest example people can relate to is either phone coaching or setting up some kind of like group calls with members. And basically, no matter what niche you're in, you can offer some kind of one-on-one consulting and charge a premium for it. Now, I don't do that, but it's just a way that you could add value to your members and make more money. So you can't do that on Udemy. You can do that with your own site, your own domain.
Yeah, definitely. And so one of the reasons why I think your dropshipping course has such a good reputation is because you give so much value, and you're so ethical about everything you do. I mean, literally every single person who's ever met you, knows how earnest you are and knows how genuine you are and how much you really genuinely want to help others, which is literally a breath of fresh air in the internet marketing community. And I'm very fortunate, to be honest. I've never been burned by any, I've never signed up for any, weird thing online. And part of it is luck, to be honest, because the very first course I ever signed up for was yours, and I was like, okay, well, I'm sure 100% of courses out there work.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, there are a lot of people who get kind of suckered into like a pyramid thing or like a multi-level marketing thing or something that just like something that was created in 5 days and doesn't really work well.
Yeah.
And now that your dropshipping course has been around for so long, and that there's members like me who have been in it for 2 years, and you keep doing things like adding these new bonus videos and adding more content and not upcharging people for it. Not only are you more successful financially because you get more and more students, and you can keep raising the price because there's more value of the actual course, but people recommend it through word of mouth. And I think this is the intention of the course that you want all of us to build with Membership Site Master, is to say, what, don't try to do these shortcuts, don't and try to make a couple bucks right away. We want you to create a course that's going to make thousands of dollars a month, tens of thousands of dollars per month, basically for the rest of your life.
And that's exactly what it is. With these communities that you're going to be selling to, these people that are passionate about the same things as you, they're already probably part of other communities, and if not online, then offline. And people talk, and they love to talk about their experiences. And if they join your new membership site and they're getting value from it, they're going to tell people. Just like with my dropshipping course, people join and they tell people all the time, and it leads to a lot of extra sales and members from me. So if you can deliver real value and basically deliver on your promises, whatever you promise on your sales page, then people are going to talk about it, and it's just going to start growing and growing and growing, and it'll eventually get to a point where sales just snowball, and you're basically not doing any extra marketing because it's growing based on your word of mouth from your members. So that's what we want here. That's why we focus so much on research prior to building anything, and why we focus so much on developing great content.
So how long has your first course been around now? When did you launch that?
It's been over 2 years now, 2 years and 3 months.
So I was like pretty much one of the early members.
Early on, yep.
That's cool. That makes me kind of very fortunate. And the thing is, since then, I mean, how many students do you have now?
Over 3,000. And
so I'm not gonna put you on the spot, but I'm gonna do the math quickly. Right? So if anyone wants to do it at home, if someone is paid between $300 to $1,000, all right, and there's 3,000 students now. I mean, if you kind of just do the math on how much that is, I mean, that's a number, honestly, I can't even pronounce. I mean, that's over $1 million. It's over $1 million.
Yeah, and it does very well.
And this is, I mean,
and here's the thing, and it's something that I'm passionate about. Like this course, the reason and another reason I still make videos on it and I still update it is because it's what I like. I love e-commerce, and I love adding new videos and helping people. So that's why it gets updated so much. And do I get rewarded financially for it? Yeah, very well. But in the same sentence, like you said, you just saw all those success stories that were posted on the forum. You're making money from it. So it can be both. You really can have it all. You can teach something you're passionate about. Your members can get great value, and you can make a lot of money. No one's losing out. Everyone wins. So yeah, there's a lot of money to be made.
And the thing is, even though some people might be thinking like, oh wow, like you made $1 million from this course, that's a lot of money. But if you do the math, out of all the members who have their stores have been running, who went through the system and and actually launched it and are actually following the instructions, they are all making a lot of money too. And if you do the math on that, they've made combined well more than $1 million. And I know that's a fact because I personally made over $100,000 from my dropshipping stores.
Oh yeah.
And I'm one person.
Right. And you should never compare it that way either. Like, so the value that people get now when they join for $1,000, like that's it shouldn't be compared to, you know, what I make or what you make or what anyone makes. It should be compared to what they can get out of it. And we've had this conversation before. I honestly think the course is underpriced, but the reason that I'm going to keep it at this price point, at least for the foreseeable future, is because it's really built for someone that's just getting started out, that's going to bootstrap, that, you know, they're really grinding, because that's how I got started with e-commerce. Mm-hmm. So that's why the price point is where it's at, and that's where it's going to stay for the dropshipping course. But yeah, I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. There's tons of success stories, and there's a lot of people that have made so much more than what they've invested financially in the course. And yeah, I mean, it's been over 2 years and counting, and I'm sure it's going to continue that way as long as I continue to update the course with what's relevant and what's working today.
I mean, just for example, I'm just looking at the forums right now, and there's a woman named Michelle from Dallas that she still has a 9-to-5 job, so she's kind of doing this, you know, on her side, and she's, you know, I don't think she has that much technical knowledge, you know, because kind of just based on what she's been posting, and she started making sales, you know, pretty shortly after she started, and now she's still working 9 to 5. You know, she still has a normal job. She's doing this kind of part time, and she just made a sale the other day where she made $1,000 in profit just off of that one sale.
Yep.
And so in her mind, she's like, oh, so I guarantee if any of you guys, you know, ask her on the forums or meet her in person, and you say, hey, was it worth spending $1,000 on Anton's course? She'll be like, yeah, because I made $1,000 the other day.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And like those other high profit orders, like some other guy just posted, I think today, that he just got a government order that he made over 500 net profit on. So to people, I get that $1,000 seems like a lot of money if you're just getting started, if you're bootstrapping, if you don't know yet. But there's so much to be made that once you're up and you're profitable and these sales start coming in, it's like, oh, I made that back in a day. So yeah, I really do think the course is underpriced. But again, this is for people that are starting out, that are bootstrapping. So I think the dropshipping course will stay at that price for at least the foreseeable future.
And I definitely agree that to the people who, you know, actually put in the effort and say, I'm actually gonna do this. I'm gonna follow the instructions. I'm not gonna get lazy. I'm not gonna put it off. I'm not gonna, you know, I'm really going to be earnest and do the course as intended. 100%, it is worth literally 1,000 times that amount. I mean, or, you know, or 100 times that amount. You know, 100,000. It's worth at least $100,000 to them because that's what they would be making, you know, back in profit from the course. You know,
right.
But what I really like about the new course is because it's going to be smaller groups. It's going to be, well, instead of just, you know, saying. It's up to you if you want to do the work or not. I can't hold your hand to it. Now you basically kind of can. I mean, now you're going to be a little bit more accountable.
Yeah, that's the biggest difference in the way that I teach within both courses. And the reason really is like I said, I have a lot of conversations with my friends that I'm helping with e-commerce stores and dropshipping sites, and again with membership sites. And I've realized that the conversations around membership sites, they kind of go off on their own path a lot more. There's a lot more variables. There's a lot more different ways to do things, really. And I think it would not benefit members if, for the membership site course, if I just threw everyone in there and said, get to work. I think with this one, if people want to get the kind of results that I want for them, it has to be small groups. It has to be weekly calls with me and everyone else. And I think that's what's going to get people to where I want them to be, which is having a site up that's highly profitable.
So are you personally going to be on these calls?
Yeah, I'll be on every call. I will.
So I mean, obviously you have limited time as well. You can't, you know, have 1,000 members sign up.
No way.
So
yeah.
What are you thinking you're going to limit it to?
It's going to be limited. Yeah, that's a good question. I haven't worked out the exact numbers yet because I really don't know how many people are going to sign up. But this will be priced differently than my other courses, and I am getting a lot of interest for it. But what's going to happen over these next couple weeks, in case anyone's interested, as of right now, the first video, Johnny will link to it, is up, and it's a free 20-minute video where I teach about membership sites. The next free video is coming up on March 3rd. And the third free video is coming up on March 5th. So if you don't know if this is for you yet, you want more information, you want to actually see how I teach and how my teaching style is, Johnny will link to all of them, and you can go check that out. And then what's going to happen on March 9th? So that's an important date. On March 9th is when people can actually start enrolling in this course. So when people could actually say, okay, I want to be part of it. And the plan is to keep enrollment open for 1 week. So from March 9th to March 16th, and then close it down. Now, if I see that a lot of people join on the first couple days and it's really too much for me to handle, then I'm going to close the card early. So I just can only, like you said, I'm going to be on the phone with everyone, and I have to give everyone lots of personal attention based on the results I want for them. So the plan is to keep the card open from March 9th to March 16th. But if you really know this is for you, then I'd recommend join in on March 9th.
Yeah, I'm going to sign up on the first day because I know there's going to be a chance that either it's going to be closed and say, well, we're full for this first 8 weeks, and I have to wait another 2 months or probably even longer.
Longer, yeah, it'll be longer.
Yeah, because you probably don't want to, finish with one with one set and then jump straight into
also,
other.
and like I said, after that 8 weeks finishes, that's when we're launching. So there's not going to be new videos coming out, but there's going to be a forum where I'm helping everyone going through this actual launch even after 8 weeks. So it's not like week 8 comes around and I say, hey guys, it's been fun. It is ongoing. So it'll be at least 3 or 4 months until it opens again.
Yeah, and so I'm just doing the math. If it's going to be groups of 5, I can't imagine there being more than, let's say, like 50 people total, because that's 10 groups of 5 people.
I think it'll be less than that, honestly. I think I'm going to try to keep it to less than that because I want to give everyone lots of attention. So it'd probably be less than 50 people.
Yeah, and I honestly think it's going to get filled up before that week's over. I mean, just kind of. I mean, I don't know what everyone else's plans are, but knowing the number of people, especially just even in your first course, that are making over $5,000 a month in profit from their stores, all of them know 100% that what you teach works, and they've now made their ROI on the first course 100-fold. So I honestly think all of them are just going to sign up the very first day. And
I think that's why, like I mentioned earlier, March 9th is the first day it's available. If you know this is for you, then you should sign up then because, like you mentioned, Johnny, it's a good chance it's not going to be a full week of open enrollment.
And I know you haven't announced pricing on it yet, but I have a feeling that what you're going to end up doing is you're going to see that so many people are going to sign up straight away, and that the only logical thing to do is keep raising the price just to kind of limit membership.
Yeah, I'm not going to go crazy with it because I'm not a fan of courses that are too expensive. But obviously, this is a whole course plus 8 weekly calls, so the pricing will reflect that. But I'm not going to trying to take everyone's house. To sign up
are the calls going to be extra, or is that going to be included in the course?
No, it's included. It's included, and they're all going to be recorded and uploaded to each mastermind's group. So if you're in a mastermind with 5 people, every time that you log into your members area, you're going to have not only the training videos but also recordings of every call that we've had with your mastermind, and that'll be up there forever. So just like with my dropshipping course, you're getting lifetime access to all of this. So you have all of the videos, you're going to have all of these weekly calls. Plus, you're going to have the forum where you can communicate not only with your mastermind, but with everyone in the course. And this is going to, again, you have lifetime access to it. So another thing, if you can't be on these calls every week, it's not the worst thing. You can submit questions in advance and you can listen back to the answers, to listen to the recordings. So just I think that's important to point out too.
Yeah, I think that's really good, especially for people that still have a normal 9-to-5 job. And I know I'm going to be traveling during that time when it's going to be launched, but I'm still going to do it. I mean, I'm going to be in Koh Lanta with my parents. Actually, we're going to come to visit. And actually, so I'm going to have to thank you for my parents because of the money I've made now from my dropshipping store, I'm able to afford to not only pay for some of their flights, but also I rented a villa in Koh Lanta for 10 days.
Nice.
And there's no way they would have just paid for that themselves. We would have stayed in like a crappy hotel room.
Yeah.
But this is nice because then all of us can stay together. My sister, her husband, my niece and nephew, my parents, Larissa, we're all going to be in this big, 3-bedroom villa like right on the beach. And
awesome.
This is honestly this is the first big step of being location dependent and making a full-time income. But I know 100% that when I go through your second course and I develop my membership site, I'm going to make so much money that next year, this time, I'm going to be able to rent a villa in Europe for my parents. And that's my goal. So that's actually why I'm going to be working so hard and why I'm doing this.
Now we have to do the podcast again in a year.
We will.
Yep. I mean, put it in the calendar now. Yep.
It's one of those things where, so everybody listening to this, you guys can have a couple options. All right. You can do nothing. All right. And probably not that much will change. Or you could say, you know what, let me follow along, this journey. I mean, and that's what my blog is called. It's called Follow the Journey, because I've basically documented everything I've done for the last 4 to 7 years now. And anybody who's read my first book, 12 Weeks in Thailand, knows, you know, what my mindset was. I was like, let me try to make $600 a month and let me just try to get by. And then by the time the second book came out, Life Changes Quick, I was like, you know what? I want to make $5,000 a month. And I'll be very happy with that. I want to save up 30 grand. If I was to write another book right now, which I don't even know if I will, just because for time reasons, my new goal would be I want to make $100,000 a month. I mean, honestly, I want to be a millionaire. And this is the first time I'm announcing that. It's almost like, remember that time I randomly said, hey, I want to be a Thai millionaire. I want to save up $30,000. That was like episode 10 of this podcast. That was like 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. I had no idea how I was going to get to that point, because I think at the time I only had a couple $1,000. Right. And I was like, yeah, I just want to magically save up $30,000 end of the year. And I made it happen. Somehow, some way I made it happen.
I remember when you told me it happened too. You were like, yeah, I think I paid all my suppliers. I think I paid my credit card bill. I don't know why all this money's still in my account. Then you did the accounting like a bunch of times and you were finally like, yep, it's real.
Yep.
This is my,
there you go. And then I put another goal. I was like, I want to be a Vietnamese dong billionaire, which was exactly double that. It was like $60,000. And I don't even think I even wrote a blog post about it. I was like, I think one day I woke up, I was like, all right, I'm a Vietnamese billionaire now.
Yeah.
And I kind of just left it at that. I was going to buy another watch, but I was like, no, I already have a watch. I don't need another one.
I remember you mentioning that. It was actually just about a year ago when you were here in Vietnam, where I'm still living, and we did a podcast and you mentioned that. I didn't remember a follow-up though, so yeah, good to hear that you're hitting all your goals though.
Yeah, thank you.
You're now a Vietnamese billionaire.
Yep. So now I want to be a US millionaire. I mean, like literally, if you asked me this even a couple years ago, I never would have thought this was possible. I was like, there's no way in heck I'm going to be a millionaire. Because I grew up, my parents are pretty poor. I kind of grew up in a lower to middle class income. Never really made that much money, in my career, and I was so used to living, basically being broke, that this mindset, was not even possible until now. But now I'm 100% sure. So this is basically everyone's opportunity to follow along. And I'm going to join the mastermind. I'm going to join the course. So 4 of you guys are actually going to be in my group, which means from day one, you guys are going to be in the same call as me. You're going to be the same, basically follow along. We're going to openly talk about what our niche is. You're going to be able to see my store being built alongside yours. And my goal is for everybody, not just those 4 people, but, definitely those 4 people to all be following on the same path, same journey as me.
Yeah. And I think it's very important that you're saying follow along. So you could either follow along by listening to your podcast or reading your blog, because I'm sure you're going to be updating everyone, or you could be following along by doing it alongside both of us. And if you do that, I mean, in one situation, you're going to be looking at Johnny's blog 3 months from now thinking, man, he's making a lot of money now from this. Or you're going to be thinking, wow, Johnny's making money and so am I. So I really do believe that everyone that joins this, if you follow along, which you will, because there's accountability, that you'll be successful, and there's no reason not to join. And just, I don't want to, I am a fan of stress and urgency, but not to push anyone too hard. Just so everyone knows though, the price that I'm going to be charging for this course, for the first time that we launch, starting on March 9th, it's not going to be the same price that you see when we relaunch. It will be more money, because I'm confident that there's going to be tons of success stories, and I'm going to have to put a lot more time into it and build out a bigger team. So, if you really want to do it, this is the best price you'll ever see, and it'll be the best opportunity starting on March 9th. All
right, guys, at least take a look at the free videos, because this honestly costs you nothing. And the info in even the very, very first video is so valuable that Anton could have charged a couple $100 just for access to that first video, because this goes through the mindsets, goes through how to choose a niche. So watch that video. I mean, just click the link either in the show notes. This is episode 66, or you can go to membership site master.com and check that out. And if you want,
there's a comment section too below the free videos. So if anyone's listening to this and has any questions as we're working through it, just post your comments under the free videos I'm releasing, and I'm definitely happy to help.
Awesome. And if you guys want to check out the first course, the dropshipping course, and you guys want to start a dropshipping store, you can go to antonmethod.com. I'll have links to that as well. And that's the course that I did, where it puts me in basically this position I am today, which paid for itself today, and pretty much every day since I've started it now.
Yeah.
So I honestly 100%, I'm so earnest and so genuine about this. I want every single person listening to this to have all the success that I've had in life, because I've been very fortunate, and I want you guys to share along with that. So Anton, thank you so much, not for only being on the call, but for putting out these great courses, genuinely caring about people and allowing us, giving us the tools and the roadmap to become successful.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Thanks for having me on again. And really, I'm excited for you too, because I know this will be huge for you. And 3 months from now, 4 months from now, I can't wait to hear back with your results.
As Tyga said, don't believe me, just watch.
There you go.
See you guys.
Thank you for listening to the Travel Like a Boss podcast. If you want to hear more, including the bonus How to Choose the Perfect Niche episode, join our mailing list at travellikeabosspodcast.com. See you next week, and remember, if you want to travel like a boss, you need to be your own boss. So start your online business today and start living the lifestyle you've always dreamed of.